So good evening. Welcome to the blower door testing. What we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at a blower door testing. It goes with the PDF regarding the instructions of how to do a blower door test. I did some filming out in Winnipeg, and we didn't get our audio, so I'm just narrating through it just to explain exactly what we're doing. So we're going to be looking at the different things to watch for. We're going to see the equipment. We're going to see it run. I'm going to talk about some of the processes, and you get to actually see the blower door testing in action. Okay, so let's get started here. That we put together. We're going to cover a variety of things, as said. So things to know when you do a blower door test. First of all, we got to understand equipment regarding the testing. We have our blower door itself that fits inside a door. We have our fan that's built into it with a variety of covers to cover the fan itself. As you can see, my helper here, he works with Efficiency Manitoba, and he's explaining what the monitor, this is the monitor for the system. It tells us how fast the machine is running. It tells us what our CFMs are on how much air we're pulling out of the home in this case. Now remember, what we're doing is we're creating a negative air pressure within the house itself in this case. These are the different hoses. We have it, the machine will actually tell you what hose to fit where. And what's really interesting is one of the hoses fits outside to give us our baseline. And a windy day will have an effect on it. So you have to have the ability to just remember that when you put this unit together. There's a lot of little pieces. There's some monitoring. And what's really interesting is this unit here is all digital. It's got a variable speed fan, and it's all computerized. And you actually use an app on your phone to do this. This unit here that he has is the adjustable variable speed, because we let it run automatically, but then when we go to do the test, we set it to a certain level for CFMs. This is what's really neat. This is what we call a smoke pencil. This is mechanical. So what that is, he'll go outside and he'll create smoke. And what we're looking for is penetrations of air coming into the home, and the smoke will dictate where they are if there's any leakage within the home. Because remember, airflow, we can lose energy through that. So this here is a blower door test here. As you can see, we've got the covers on it. And one of the big things about setting it up is making sure that it's tight around the door. We have everything set up. We have our line outside, because remember, a windy day, what's going to happen is that's going to affect it. So now that we've got it all set up and in place and tight within the door frame, he's actually going to do a base test, because we have to have a base test within it, and we're making sure it's running. Now, one of the other things we have to remember is, in preparation for this blower door test, we have to make sure the furnace is off, our HRV unit is off, all our pilot lights are just on, so the hot water tank is not running. Even something simple as closing all your windows and your doorways, and even keeping your dryer door closed. And these are the things that we have to consider when we prep for this, because we have to make sure we have a good solid base and there's no leakage that we're not aware of outside of maybe around the windows or whatever. Now, once you do that and get it set up, you create an app that we use, because the app actually controls the unit itself. It's Bluetoothed, and that's where our data goes, because what it'll do, it'll set up a data and a spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a base test right now to see where it's at, and that's what we're doing right now. And it'll go through a series of events with the cover off, just to give us our baseline, because we have to have a baseline to find out where we're at. Now, a typical house, we're looking for 1 change per hour on this unit. And when we do the actual test itself, what's going to happen is he's going to set the machine up, and now he's going to start running it. As you can see, he's got his phone, and he's going to press start, and he's going to have it run. And as you can see, it's creating, if you look on the digital monitor there, it's actually showing us what it's doing right now. And once it's calibrated, then we can start working on doing the test itself. So what he's going to do, he's going to take the one opening off, because remember, different size of buildings require certain size of openings. That's why they're staged in different sizes. And the other thing we had to prep for is we actually had to calculate the cubic feet of air that's within that home. So basically the width of the building, the length of the building, and the height. We don't have to factor in interior walls. And that is put into the data system. So all this information is for prep. Now what we're doing is we're going through a blower doors test system here. And what's going to happen is they're going to, as we run it, it's going to go through a series of speeds. And it starts out at 50 CFMs, then it'll drop down to 40, then 30, then 20. At one point, it even went to 15 CFMs. And what it does, it gives us different baselines on different pressures within it. So it's a fairly simple system, and it's quite fascinating seeing the data come on the phone. As you can see here, we're just collecting our data on this. And we have to let it go through its series. This whole thing takes about 2.5 hours. So we did 2 tests, and we found out he had 2.5 changes per hour. So now we set it at 50 CFMs, and we upped the pressure, and he went outside and started using the smoke. Now, as you can see around the door frame here, see the leakage around the seal? So that tells us the seal around the door isn't that good, and that's something he's going to look at replacing. And this is the back door. So it's quite fascinating to see how this is working. It actually shows how much air is coming through. And really, we look at the data, but this really shows how it tends to work when it comes to actually finding the penetrations. Then we went over to the window, and the back window here, as you can see, it had a little bit of leakage through this window. Now, this window is 4 to 5 years old only, and it actually had some leakage in the actual frame, not the rough opening, but the actual PVC frame itself. As you can see, there's a little bit of penetration through it. And it was actually coming through between the PVC and the sealed unit itself, as you can see. This is from the front window. They were leaking like crazy. So when you look at this, and this is where we get our data. So it's a really short video on showing it. There is sites that'll take you step by step through this. So remember, when we're doing a blower door test, follow the step-by-step instructions. There is some how-to videos on the Canadian website regarding blower door testing. We're going to have to start looking at this because in the upcoming year, when it comes to new construction and new homes, a blower door test will have to be a mandatory thing for every new home built within Canada when they develop the new building code, because we're going to have energy codes falling within it now. And it's going to be a mandatory thing. It's easy to do. It's the equipment that we have to contend with. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the next one.